The film opens with Commander Chesley Contaminate Sullenberger attempting to move U.S. aviation routes Flight 1549 above New York City. The Airbus 320's motors have both flopped because of a bird strike, and the pilot is attempting to track down a protected spot to land. Soil lets completely go and crashes the plane into a structure, bringing about a searing blast. This is only a bad dream, and Soil awakens perspiring and wheezing for breath. It's been scarcely 7 days when Tarnish effectively landed Flight 1549 on the Hudson Waterway, saving the existences of each of the 155 individuals in what the media has named the supernatural occurrence on the Hudson. In any case, Contaminate stays tormented by the occurrence. Soil and his co-pilot/first official Jeff Skiles are brought in to meet with individuals from the Public Transportation Security Board who are researching the occurrence. One of the men, Charles Watchman, questions Tarnish over essential things, for example, assuming that he had gotten sufficient rest, whether he had consumed any medications or liquor, or on the other hand, assuming he has been having inconveniences at home. The unavoidable issue is the reason Soil decided to arrive on the Hudson, rather than basically getting back to LaGuardia Air Terminal. Skiles protects Contaminate's activities as he was right close to him when the occurrence happened. It's contended that the left motor not entirely settled to be inactive yet working, yet that's what Soil questions and says that he felt the two motors kick the bucket. Tarnish stays in contact with his significant other Lorraine, who lives with their two little girls. Lorraine has been stressed over Contaminate's prosperity since the episode. The media likewise investigates the episode, with Soil being addressed by journalists. He sits for a meeting with Katie Couric, who asks him what it seems like to be viewed as a legend. Tarnish says he doesn't feel like a legend. Following the meeting, Contaminate glances through the window and encounters one more fantasy of his plane colliding with the city. We see a concise flashback of Contaminate as a teen when he was first figuring out how to fly under L.T. Cook. Tarnish and Skiles meet with the NTSB individuals once more. They illuminate the pilots that few tests were run on a test system that demonstrated that it was conceivable and plausible to get back to LaGuardia, or land at neighboring Teterboro Air Terminal. We return to the day of the occurrence on January 15, 2009. Soil and Skiles require off, yet around 2 minutes into the flight, an enormous herd of geese fly head-on into the motors, causing the two of them to flounder. Soil keeps in touch with air traffic regulator, yet the flight is lost from the radar. Tarnished then cautions everybody on board to hold on. The airline stewards mind the travelers and rehash directions for them to watch out. Contaminate and Skiles then make their plummet onto the Hudson. In the current day, Contaminate and Skiles show up on Late Show with David Letterman, with the 3 airline stewards who were with them during the episode. Contaminate goes running through Times Square and runs by the Bold, where AF-4 Ghost is in plain view. We see one more speedy flashback of him flying that plane over a field, then needed to land it as it became disabled. A short time later, Soil goes to a bar where the barkeep, Michael Rappaport, gives him a beverage named after him, which is Dark Goose with a sprinkle of water. Soil then, at that point, watches inclusion of the episode on the television. We see one more flashback to that day, however with a greater gander at a portion of the travelers. There's a more seasoned lady with her old and wheelchair-bound mother, who needs to bring back a trinket as a birthday present for their grandson/incredible grandson. A more seasoned man going with his grown-up child and nephew for a golf trip, who make it onto the plane before it leaves. A lady with her child kit and a respectful, moderately aged man sitting close to her. We even meet the airline stewards joining the outing. As the plane glitches and starts its drop, the travelers prepare themselves for just horrible. Some are messaging their friends and family, while others are hanging on close. The considerate man holds the lady's child for her. The plane grounds on the waterway, and before long begins to sink. Soil orders everybody to clear as the entryways are opened and the pontoons are swelled. Ship Chief Vincent Lombardi, playing himself, sees the plane and informs different ships and crisis reaction divisions as his ship, the Thomas Jefferson, plans to safeguard the travelers, who have been isolated onto the 2 wings. A few travelers end up in the freezing cold water, however are recuperated. The ship groups begin pulling individuals ready. A portion of the travelers are brought to New Jersey. The more seasoned man, who is with his nephew, gets a call from his child, since they were isolated. However, they are feeling better to realize that they're all okay. Contaminate is brought to a clinic, and he is informed that each of the 155 on board had made due. He is subsequently brought to an inn to remain, and one of the workers gives him a major embrace, leaving him dazed. He calls Lorraine to tell her he is all right, despite the fact that she has no clue presently of what has occurred until Tarnish advises her to turn on the television with their little girls. Back in the present, Lorraine calls Soil in tears, as it simply hits her that he was one of the 155 individuals ready, and that she is so panicked to understand that. At the film's peak, Contaminate and Skiles go to a conference with the NTSB and different authorities to examine the occurrence. Once more, it's raised that all aircraft testers in the test systems had the option to land at LaGuardia or Teterboro without an issue effectively. Tarnish contends that what they didn't consider was the human component, for example, involving life and demise, the component of shock, the time expected for examination and navigation, and the altogether higher stakes he and Skiles confronted. The reproduction pilots knew ahead of the circumstance that they would confront, and of the proposed crisis activity. Had the option to rehearse the situation a few times, had no travelers to contemplate, and were in no peril themselves. The Chiefs run the tests once more with the clear response season of 35 seconds, in spite of the fact that Soil over and again specifies that he and Skiles acted in something like 208 seconds, 3 minutes, and 28 seconds. The LaGuardia rerun closes with the plane arrival shy of the runway onto a dock, and that to Teterboro, with an accident into structures before the air terminal, the last option would have most certainly left no survivors. Everybody then pays attention to a recording of Contaminate and Skiles on the trip as they took their action. Adequately, it's to demonstrate to the board that Soil and Skiles acted appropriately. After a brief break, Elizabeth Davis uncovers that the plane's left motor has been recuperated, and it was totally obliterated in the bird strike as Soil had said. That's what she remarks, assuming Soil had been taken out from the situation. Everything would have turned out badly. Soil deviates, saying that everybody on the plane, the air traffic regulators, the ship groups, and the crisis reaction groups, likewise merit recognition for the effective result. Davis asks Skiles what they would have done another way, and Skiles answers that he would have done it in July. Everybody giggles. The last text expresses that it required around 24 minutes for the ship group to save everybody from Flight 1549. The end credits highlight photographs from the genuine occasion. Thank you for watching, and see you again in another movie story.
If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Movie Story for more amazing movie recaps. Let us know in the comments which movie you'd like us to cover next. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.